None of my friends in quotations, we'll pretend that they're friends. None of them took the time to listen. Some of them took a little bit, here and there. Never long enough for me to explain what was going on. Dan Fabert, he listened to me for about 45 minutes one night while Desiree was staying at my house. Before I went to Shannon's, Shannon had not once listened to me. It was always about her. And when I got there, it was always about her. And every night she said she would take time to listen, and every night I ended up being the one doing all of the listening for hours on end, while she talked for hours on end. Shannon Alvarado never stops talking, ever. When I was there, Rick McCormick, he took the time to listen to me one-on-one twice. Something Shannon Alvarado has never done. Rick McCormick actually listened. Something Shannon Alvarado has never done. Rick McCormick focused on my issues, on the problems that I was talking to him about, instead of going off on a fucking tangent. When I told Rick how I felt while I was there, he listened, and he addressed that particular issue. He didn't go off about his dead grandma. He didn't go off about some homeless person in Oakland. He didn't blame everything on Shannon. He didn't blame everything on her daughter. Shannon blamed everything on Rick and everything on her daughter. Everything that she did wrong, she blamed on Rick and her daughter. You know, it was the same way with Rick. Rick stood up for himself. I wasn't in a position where I could. If Shannon Alvarado had asked me to leave, I would have left. She told him to leave at least 200 times for sticking up for himself. For sticking up for himself. I have more respect for Rick McCormick than I will ever have for Shannon Alvarado. It doesn't matter how pissed off Rick is or how much he hates me. At least he took the time to listen to me twice while I was there. You know, after I'd been there for about, I want to say 3 weeks. 3 weeks of listening to Shannon bitch about everyone and everything all the fucking time. Or it's playtime, time for Sean to do stupid human tricks. So I do the stupid human tricks, hoping if I do the stupid human tricks, maybe she'll listen, but no. And, Shannon never once, to this day, has stopped and listened. To this day, not once, despite the literally hundreds of hours that I listened to her talk in the 2 months that I was there. To this day, I'm still not worth listening to. My emotions don't matter. Rick is a complete fucking dick. That's the thing, though, is that Rick took the time to listen to me twice.
Yeah,
Teresa Orn never took the time to listen. Her daughter Brandy never took the time to listen. Miss Peaches, she finally took some time to listen. Finally. My second trip through Wyoming is when she finally listened. I was in the McDonald's parking lot and I screamed at her the whole time. I wasn't angry at her, I was frustrated and I just needed to vent. But Shannon Alvarado never listened. She said she would, but she never did. She says, "Oh, I'll try harder." No, you won't. No, you won't. Shannon Alvarado thinks that the mean things that she says, she thinks that's being nothing but good to me. You know, when I was going to work on her tile, I set up to do that multiple times, and every time that I got set up to do that, it was Shannon's whiny time. The dude who's fixing her house for free isn't helping properly, or isn't going to finish it, or he isn't this, or he isn't that. That's that Chris feller. With one when I explained there's a difference between being an alcoholic and drinking too much. If you get too drunk on a Saturday and you do something stupid like try to drive your vehicle home, yeah, you got too fucking drunk. If you drink like that every day, you're an alcoholic. When Chris showed up to do work on Shannon's house, he was sober. Instead of owning up to the fact that she's an alcoholic, she tried pawning it off on Rick. Well, you know, or not Rick, but Chris. You know, Chris got into 2 accidents in his Jeep while drinking and driving. Shannon, that's got nothing to do with the way that you treat people because you're an alcoholic. The way that you treated Rick because you're an alcoholic.